Bob, why don't you start with letting us know how you got involved in the race and what your position and title has been over the years?
Good question.
I'm sure it's
I-
changed. Yeah.
it's definitely evolved over the
Evolved,
years.
yeah.
I started in 1978. I graduated from Southern Connecticut. I did the road race from 1978 probably to the 95,
Okay. You
Yeah.
ran the
the
20K? Okay.
every year. I also at the track coach at Hills High School,
Uh-huh.
and John had contacted me about volunteers, have our students volunteers, and so we
Right.
were one of the original volunteers for the New Haven Road Race as far as the high school programs.
Okay.
Back then it was Notre Dame High School, Hamden High School were also volunteers for the race, and around 1996 I was invited to be on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and so I've been on the board for just over 20 years now.
It's at least 10 years more than me.
Yeah. Like I had said earlier, I've been on a New Haven Green every year since 1978,
Yeah.
either as a
Right.
runner or as a volunteer
Right.
or a committee member. Over the years, my role on the board has been coordinator for volunteers.
Right.
Along with that, basically whatever needs to be done, I just jump in and we
Mhm.
just do it on race day. So I end up help coordinating the children's race with Jim Barber from Southern Connecticut.
Right.
The awards that we distribute at the end of the race, I help organize that. Distribution of the T-shirts as far as the volunteers.
Mhm.
But the main thing about being on the board is this is the first group or board I've been involved with that everybody works,
Yeah.
everybody gets their hands dirty.
Yes,
And
I agree
that's,
with you.
that's from the very beginning.
Right.
Way back in the 80s
Mhm.
when we were set up at Chapel Street Mall.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be our distribution for packet pickup
Yeah.
and bringing everything together.
And now it's Trailblazer.
Yeah, I remember we had to use their freight elevators to bring all the
Yeah.
T-shirts, all the packets, all the numbers up and down the freight elevators. Frank Alvarado,
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien,
Yeah.
John Courtmarsh. So we've all been around for a long time.
Yeah.
That's, like I said, is the best part for me is like everybody works on the board.
Yes.
Everyone has a
Yeah.
role and everyone does their part. So when it comes to race day,
Mhm.
things just happen.
Right.
It's just automatic.
Right.
And if we identify things that need to be done or covered, we just do it, no questions asked.
Yes, I've
Um,
witnessed that. I think, like you said too, just to touch upon like the boxes of T-shirts and bibs going in the freight elevator and just all the coordination. I don't think people realize the prep and the work that gets done beforehand to make it look so good on race day.
Yeah.
You know, all of the just the preparation and getting ready and the things you have to anticipate. And like you said, you've been on the green in some capacity every single year for the past, it's going to be 40 years.
40 years.
And so that's dedication. And all the guys that you mentioned too that have been longtime members, even though you guys have all been friends and bonded over this race and all the duties leading up to the race, everybody is really all about the work and getting it done and making it a success and making New Haven look good. And I think it comes through.
Absolutely. And over the years, I've been able to recruit more of the high school programs. Amity High School, like I said, Hamden High School,
Yeah.
North Branford High School, Career High School, Overcross High School, of course, Hill House High
You're
School.
still at Hill House, right?
I retired from teaching 3 years ago. I
Okay.
was a special ed teacher
Uh-huh.
for 36 years.
Oh, okay.
The last 25 at Hill House.
Okay.
So I'm still involved with the athletics.
Okay.
And I still reach out to all the teams. And over the past few years, we've been able to have Southern Connecticut State University,
Mhm.
their track program's been involved, their basketball program's been involved. New Haven, University of New Haven's women's basketball program has also been volunteers. In the past, the women's program at Yale University basketball team has also been volunteers on race day.
Yeah, so that's just
So-
like a ton of schools that you just named.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit how you recruit. Like,
Well, it's
how do you get these kids to agree?
it's an easy sell.
Yeah.
You know, because most of them, like I said, either cross country or track programs. What we've done also is the board makes small donations to their programs
Yeah.
also, so it kind of gives them a little incentive.
Right.
For the cross country season, it's like the opening day for them, more or less. It's a way of team building.
Right.
They get opportunity to meet other athletes and other programs from the New Haven area, the SEC conference. Most of the teams are from. When I assign them, I try to break them up so they get opportunities to be with other programs.
Oh, okay.
And
that makes sense.
and it's worked.
They don't mind getting up early on Labor Day.
Well, well, I always tell them to be there a half hour before they have to be there. So if they're running late, you know.
I think John Weisswitz does the same for me. I'm pretty sure.
And so
I'm onto that.
I always say 6 a.m. And they really don't need to be there till about 6:15, 6:30.
Yeah.
And so they have time to be late, you know, because I know that time of day, that time of year,
Right.
you know, transportation could be an issue for high school students. But they figure it out.
Yeah.
And we get anywhere from 200, 250 volunteers
Yeah.
from the local high schools.
And again, they always come with their A game. It's always
Yeah.
nice to see all the students. They're always so
Yeah.
excited and in it too.
Yes.
And so you're one person to thank for that.
Well, like I said, it's an easy sell,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
Great. Yeah.
And we have a discussion about the athletes being ambassadors to the city of New Haven for
Right.
one day.
That's a
And
good
so,
point.
you know, we give them volunteer T-shirts,
Yep.
and so they stand out and,
Yeah.
and they're recognized,
Yeah.
and it works.
Okay, and then switching gears to you running personally. Did I read you've been running for 50 years? Is that possible?
It's possible. I've been running since middle school, so as far as for a little bit longer than 50 years. But as far as road races, I started road races right after college. I was a track and field athlete from Southern Connecticut, and I took a health class my freshman year, and Dr. Bill Johnson was his name. The thing that stuck out in my head, he said, if you train and you do a marathon, the chances of you dying or passing away from a heart attack are real minimum. And so I was a freshman there, and I said, when I'm done with college, I'm going to train and do one marathon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's basically was my motivation. You know, it's a good, healthy lifestyle.
Right.
You know, because you have to eat right.
Yeah.
You have to train right.
Yeah.
I've done the New York Marathon 4 or 5 times.
Oh, so you totally exceeded your goal.
Yeah, I've done Marine Corps, Boston Marathon. I've New Haven 20K. I've done at least 20 times.
That's what I was saying.
Over the last few years, I haven't been able to do it because of conflicts, either with family, with jobs. But I'm still part of it as far as being a volunteer.
Yeah, and you have all those responsibilities too,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard to juggle it all.
I figure as I get older, I might have more time to slip back in there.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Is that how your children got involved in running too? Did you get them involved at a young age?
As soon as they're old enough to do the children's race, they did it. They might have been a little too young at the time, but it was a good opportunity for them, and it was a way of doing something as a family on Labor Day. And so my son right now is 26 years old. He's done the race, and he continues to be a volunteer every year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last few years, because they need folks over 21, he's in charge of recruiting for
Bear Tent?
Bear
Yeah.
Tent. So he recruit all his friends over 21. So, and there's some fringe benefits for them.
Of course. That's an easy sell too.
Yeah. And so, and my daughter did it up until the time she was like 14. Right now, she is a New Haven police officer.
Oh, great.
For City of New Haven.
Good for her.
She's going into her 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
And so at least twice over the last 3 years, she's actually been part of the race because she's been assigned extra duty. So,
Right.
and she always makes it down to the green at some point.
It's kind of funny how it came full circle because,
Yeah.
you know, I know that they used to, or I heard that when they were kids, they would volunteer at packet pickup
Yes.
and like you said, they'd run. And now in another capacity, they're still involved and both help keeping it run safely
Absolutely.
and smoothly. And so that's great. So you have a whole family legacy.
Absolutely.
All right.
Like I said, it's a great event.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great event.
We love it.
And I look forward to it every year.
Yeah, and especially this year is going to be really special
Yes.
for the 40th. Well, Bob Davis, I don't know if there's anything you want to add that I didn't ask you.
No, not really. Like I said, we've been fortunate because we've been able to keep it going. You know,
Yeah.
the sponsors have been tremendous. You know, I know you're with Foxen, so we have to plug Foxen. You know, they've been an incredible sponsor for us. You know, without Foxen, without all the other
Yeah.
volunteers and the businesses in the community, we wouldn't be able to pull this off. You know.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I go out and about, you know, in the neighborhoods, even people that don't run,
Right.
they know that I'm a part of the race,
Yeah.
and they always have questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it really takes on a life of its own, this race,
Yeah.
you know? And I love it when, like, the weather breaks and you start seeing all the shirts from all
Yeah.
the different years of the people running around. We're downtown. And, yeah, I think it's just like a contagious energy. And
Absolutely.
Faxon Law Group will, you know, continue to sponsor because, and probably I'm sure the other sponsors are in the same boat. You can't put a quantitative value on what you get back. It's just like so much goodwill associated with the road race,
Oh my.
and it's just immeasurable. It's just you got to be part of it at least
Mhm.
once, and then you know.
You know, and like I said, every place I go, they bring it up, and I
Yeah.
always say, hey, if you want to volunteer, give me a call.
Yeah, we
And
can't have too many.
matter of fact, I got a call the other day from the Marine Corps recruits, and
great.
they want to volunteer.
That's great.
And I have just a job for them.
Yeah. Is it the kids' race?
No, it's the recycling because the beer.
Oh,
They're
right.
using canned beer this year
Yeah.
for distribution, and
You gotta make sure it gets in the right receptacle, everything gets
and
handled.
I'm not comfortable
responsibly.
having the high school kids
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And so
Perfect.
I figure we'll have. My original thought was have the college kids do it, but
Uh-huh.
let the recruits do it.
Yeah, and that sounds great. Yeah.
So
Well,
it works. It falls into place, like I said.
they have a good man in charge. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
See ya at the green.
Absolutely.